Um, Hi everyone and welcome. I hope everyone had a happy Purim. We need a little bit of joy and celebration and ridiculousness in our lives. I'm going to share my screen, which, so maybe I won't. Oh, I can't share my screen? Yeah, okay. Great, thank you. I'm going to share my screen and I wanted to essentially share some texts that for me, taken together, they've really spoken to me in thinking about sickness and healing and what it means to hopefully transition from the world of sickness to the world of health. This first one might be a little bit surprising and not intuitive, but bear with me and hopefully I can convince you of its relevance. So I'm going to read the English, but anyone who would like, you are welcome to read along in the Hebrew. This is from a Torah portion that will come up in a few weeks about the Mitzorah, which is often translated as leper, even though it's not the actual modern disease of leprosy. Instead, it's a kind of physical manifestation of a spiritual something that needs healing spiritually in a way. That's the very short version of that. So this is the process of healing, right? How does a person go from being a mitzorah, from being, I'll just say, a leper, to being able to rejoin the community? It says, God spoke to Moses, saying, "This shall be the ritual for a leper at the time of being purified. When it has been reported to the priest shall go outside the camp. If the priest sees that the leper has been healed of the scaly affection, the priest shall order 2 live pure birds, cedarwood, crimson stuff, and hyssop, to be brought for the one to be purified. The priest shall order one of the birds slaughtered over fresh water in an earthen vessel. And he shall take the live bird, along with the cedarwood, the crimson stuff, and the hyssop, and dip them together with the live bird in the blood of the bird that was slaughtered over the fresh water. Shall then sprinkle it 7 times on the one to be purified of the eruption and effect the purification, and he shall set the live bird free in the open country." So this first passage is from, as you maybe can tell already, one of the, shall we say, more difficult Torah portions. Difficult in the sense of I'll just be very honest, it can be boring, it can be gross. It discusses skin diseases, discharges, all kinds of other ailments. But this is one of the 2 places that I am aware of in the Torah where you essentially have 2 animals. They're essentially chosen at random. One is randomly chosen to be slaughtered, and the other one is set free. The other instance that I know of is on Yom Kippur with the two goats. So, okay, this seems a little bit like most of the things in this Torah portion. A little bit weird, a little bit random, a little bit inaccessible. But I want to move on to a much more modern source. This is from, if anyone knows, Dear Sugar, which was an advice column written by Cheryl Strayed. And to think about this the passage from Leviticus in terms of Dear Sugar and what she has to say. So this is actually in response to someone writing in to ask whether or not they should have children, right? So nothing to do with sickness, illness, anything, but I have always thought about it more in terms of healing and sickness and health. And she writes, "There's a poem I love by Thomas Transtromer called The Blue House. I think of it every time I ponder questions such as yours about the irrevocable choices we make. The poem is narrated by a man who is standing in the woods near his house. When he looks at his house from this vantage point, he observes that it's as if I had just died and was seeing the house from a new angle. It's a wonderful image, that man among the trees, and it's an instructive one too. There's a transformative power in seeing the familiar from a new, more distant perspective. It's in this stance that Transtromer's narrator is capable of seeing his life for what it is, while also acknowledging the lives he might have had. The sketches Transtromer writes, all of them, want to become real. The poem strikes a chord in me because it's so very sadly and joyfully and devastatingly true. Every life, Transtromer writes, has a sister ship, one that follows quite another route than the one we end up taking. We want it to be otherwise, but it cannot be. The people we might have been live a different phantom life than the people that we are. So the reason I always think of, and I included the poem, you are welcome to find it or to read it now. But the reason that I always think of these two quotes, these two very different quotes from very different time periods, Leviticus and Cheryl Strayed together, is because when we need healing, particularly when we're dealing with illness in ourselves or in a loved one, our worlds are filled with parallel lives. The what ifs, the maybes, the different scenarios that can play out again and again in our minds. And I think that the Torah text, in the Torah text, the ritual that allows the mitzorah, the leper, to return to life in the community, acknowledges these sister ships that can be so present in the world of those needing healing. One bird is lucky enough that it is chosen to fly away and fly free, not because it has done anything special or is in any way better than the other bird, but because it was lucky. But it can't fly away before it is marked by what could have been. The process to getting to a place of healing, it marks us and changes how we are in the world. We are marked by what could have been. And in order to set sail on our own course, we need to acknowledge those sister ships, however painful, however scary they might be. So my wish, my blessing to all of you is for healing, and may the ships that come into being for all of you be only the best ones that allow you to set sail or to fly wherever you and your loved ones would like to be, and you can say goodbye to all of the other sister ships in your lives.
Man. Thank you, Rabbi. I will now share screen. And whenever you're ready, Rabbi.
Mi Sheberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et hacholim Kadosh Baruch Hu Yimaleh Rachamim Alehem Lachlimam L'Rapotam Lachazikam L'Chayotam V'Yishlach Lahem Refuah Shlema Min Hashamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Shar Cholei Yisrael Hashta Ba'agala V'Zman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. Let the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal the sick. The Holy One will have mercy on them to heal and cure them, to keep them alive. May the Holy One send them a complete cure from heaven, the cure of the soul and the cure of the body among the rest of the sick of Israel. And let us say, Amen.
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 Thank
you,
Rabbi.
Rabbi. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.